What's up, Fight House peeps? Welcome to the Fight House, episode 8. We're here, me, Jason Sutcliffe, with
Tristan Keddy.
We got a great show for you today. 4 great guests. We're going to start the show with Volkan Oezdemir, the number 5 light heavyweight in the UFC. Next up is going to be Sean O'Malley, the man who dropped the head kick heard around the world at LFA 11. After that, Casey Kenney. He was on the bad end of some judging. Terrible. Undefeated still. Thank God they gave him the draw because he won the fight. There was no way he deserved that. And we're going to close out the show today with Adam Piccolotti, one of Bellator's finest. He's coming back off injury. We're going to see what's next for him. We got lots to talk about. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back with Volkan Oezdemir.
And Joshua Ferraro scores the contest 29-28 for the winner by split decision, Volkan Oezdemir.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fight House. We're here with number 5 ranked light heavyweight in the UFC, Volkan Oezdemir. Welcome, Volkan. Thanks for coming to the Fight House. How's everything going, man?
Yeah, thanks for welcoming me. Everything is fine.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, it's been a big year for you, man. Hey, I know you recently got engaged. Sorry?
Yeah, also, yeah. 2017 started really good for me. I mean, like, I got my first UFC fight. First I signed it, then I had my fight coming up right after, 2 weeks notice. Then I got my first win, and then I finally got engaged. So it's crazy. Is
it safe to say this might be one of the best years of your life?
Yeah, it's starting really great.
Absolutely, man. Last time we talked, you were getting ready to fight with Titan, and then opponents were dropping out, and you were having a real hard time getting a fight, and you took a massive turn of luck. This time, you're stepping in there with Misha Cirkunov. Is it beneficial for you that this time, you got a little bit more prep time?
Yeah, I mean, now I have like a full camp. I'm having a full camp behind me, so everything is different. And also, since I signed, I've been seeing things differently. Now it's like UFC, it's like the big stage. So now the way I train and the way I think is so much different. Mm-hmm. I improve mentally, and all my mindsets changed.
I'll take a step backwards quickly and talk about your fight with Oven St. Preux. When you first got the call, was it a benefit to you that you didn't have the time necessarily to like mentally wrap your head around what was going on? It was kind of like you got the fight and now you have to fight. Was that a benefit to you to just be kind of thrown into that situation?
Yeah, but I'm not putting too much pressure in my head, before a fight. So this doesn't really change nothing. But for sure, like it was 2 weeks to go. I just accept the fight, and then it was already time to fight. So I didn't have to do a lot of stuff. I just had to watch my weight, like just cut the rest of the pounds I had to lose, and it was already time to fight.
There were some parts of it that weren't exactly ideal. I know it came out shortly after you were announced a fight that there was some issues in the Black Stallions camp breaking up. Did any of that give you any distraction when you were headed into the fight? The fact that there were issues going on within the camp?
Not really. I mean, I wasn't really. I didn't have the proper training for a while because everything was moving. The gym was switching. We had some issue at the gym. So, but it didn't really affect nothing. It's just that it was just a bad timing, bad situation. But at the end of the day, you got to do your own training, and I mean, running is free, right? You can just go in the street and do your cardio, and that's really not something you should, really. I mean, things happen in life, but you gotta make the best out of it. So I cannot use that as an excuses.
True. I think that probably helps you, man, having that kind of an outlook on things. Take a lot of responsibility on yourself, right?
No, for sure.
What were you thinking when you arrived on fight week and it's like, okay, you got this Reebok kit in your hand and it's like, wow, like I'm really here, like I'm in the UFC, I'm about to take this fight. What were your emotions like when fight week started?
I feel you can see everything is more professionally done. You get people taking care of you anytime. You have the hotel is full of people like that is helping you. Like UFC is here for everything you want to do. So So it's really different. I never had that in any organization I fought for. So I can see everything is bigger. So then you think you have to give you the 100%, the 100% of yourself. So for the fight day.
I remember because when you got the call, you were training for a heavyweight fight, and then you had to obviously cut weight down to 205. What kind of shape were you in for the fight with OSP? Because I know the weight cut was a little bit rushed for you.
Yeah, I think I accepted the fight without even knowing what weight I was. And when I went on the scale, I was like, oh shit, now I have to I have to concentrate on that.
Yeah.
And it was tough because it was like a pretty hard diet. I got really tired, like doing that, and I don't know if that affected me during the fight or not, but I mean, the fight was hard anyway, so of course the fight got me tired, but hopefully the diet too, because this could explain a little bit too, my condition. So of course that it was really rough on my body, and but I dealt with it and I arrived on weight. Everything was fine. I didn't really have a problem. It was just like a hard diet.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know you didn't have a long time. What did you think of your performance against OSP? I should ask you that. Were you happy with it?
I'm happy. I'm happy about the outcome, But
sure.
Of course, when you go there and you go for the kill, you're wishing you're able to put out on a finish, like some good old-fashioned knockouts. And then, if it doesn't happen, and also, I don't know, UFC is different. It was the first time, I guess, I fought somebody that strong, in my life, because it was like sixth in the world at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm happy still. I came from nowhere. I mean, and then I faced one of the toughest guy in the world, and that's it. So I'm happy about the outcome, but I wish I would have, performed better for sure.
With the win, you picked up the win over OSP, and it catapulted you immediately into the top 10. I think you're ranked number 5 now, correct?
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, also 205 is not that. There is not too many people in 205 right now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people. Some people went into Bellator, like Bader, and some people got fired. Some people went back to Russia, like Krylov. So that's also what helped like my transition into the top 5 right now. And yeah, but that's. I mean, I'm happy about it too, But now
Sure.
I need to prove I deserve to be here.
Was it hard to wrap your mind around that? Like, okay, 1 minute I'm with Titan FC. I'm trying to find an opponent to fight for the vacant heavyweight title. Then I win this fight with OSP, and now I'm a top 5 light heavyweight in the world, like essentially a fight or two away from a title shot. Was that really hard to wrap your mind around how quickly all that happened?
I mean, I know everybody told me that something can, like, your life can change with little things, happening.
Yeah.
And I never really experienced it, And I mean, this is it, like one call, one fight, you have to grab the opportunity while you can. Because, like we say back home, let's say the train passed only once, if you miss it, then it's gone. So I'm happy about everything, I feel blessed, and I was able to take the best, to make the best out of it. So yeah, I'm really happy to be now in the top 5, but I still don't consider myself like a top 5 guy because I only had one fight, and I also wanted to have a finish, like something to put a statement on the division.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll be able to do that for my next fight.
How much better do you feel at this weight with the appropriate time to prep yourself?
I mean, it's not only about time, but as I told you, also my mindset changed a lot after that fight, and I'm taking everything more seriously, and I'm putting that hard work behind every training, and I'm doing a lot of extra stuff. So a lot of stuff changed like that, and of course with the full camp, it's only gonna be better.
Now, I know I've seen a couple pictures of you online with Anthony Rumble Johnson. I'm assuming you got to train with him a little bit, being as you both are roughly the same size, same division. How much did that help you, having a guy like that there to train with, who's on the high level like that? I think he was number 2 at the time in the world. How much did that benefit you?
I mean, every time you train with somebody, you also compare yourself.
Yeah.
That's what, like, competition people do, and every time you do something with, like, you spar or you train or you drill anything with somebody else, you're always trying to be better than the other guy. Or you compare yourself and see where you're at, or what do you do better, or how can you improve. I mean, that's my mentality anyway. Mm-hmm. So seeing that and training with him, I knew also I belong in the top of the category for sure. So I was always confident about my skills and my potential. And this was definitely a big help because AJ is a straight beast, he's a savage. So,
oh yeah. So
I'm expecting him to be back soon. I mean, hopefully, because I really love the guy. And I think he will be back soon anyway, and we'll be in the same division on the top ranked people. But for sure, like training all the time with him it's an honor also. It was really helpful for me.
You don't think that he's going to stay retired?
Like you don't take the fighter out of the the person. I mean, sometimes the flames, is less bright, but the flame is, as long as you have some fuel a little bit inside of you. I mean, maybe some. I don't know how it feels, inside of himself, but I'm pretty sure sometimes you can be tired, or you have a lot of pressure, or you have stuff to do in your life, or some priorities, and maybe it's better to step out so you don't make mistakes, during fighting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because fighting is dangerous. It's not like, it's not like you score a goal, or, if you're a soccer player or whatever, you lose a few matches, you come back, and like you're playing with your life, you're playing with your health. So it's better to step out of the game if you don't have your head into it, and come back later, a year later, 2 years later, He's still young. He's 32, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's right dead in his prime. I mean, he has a lot of good years left if he wants them, definitely.
You can see, like, the champion, Cormier, is 38.
Yeah.
So we can see we have a few years ahead of us.
Definitely. I'm sure that's somebody you have your eye on. You're not far off, maybe a big win or two, and you could be right in there with either him or John Jones or whoever. It's got to be crazy for you to think.
He's going to be back soon, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he is. They just announced today that they'll be fighting at 214, UFC 214.
Oh, they announced it?
Yeah. It was been all over the internet today that Daniel Cormier and Jones will meet at 214.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. You have a big fight ahead of yourself. You're going to match up with Misha Cirkunov. How do you feel like you match up with him?
I feel good. I'm confident. I think Misha is the toughest guy, up-and-comer guy.
Mm-hmm.
So we all know for sure Manoa, we all know AJ, we all know John Jones, Cormier, and Teixeira or Sheldon, and people like me or him, like all these other guys. I think he's the tougher from everybody else. He's the up-and-comer guy. He got like 4 wins in a row, 4 finishes in a row in the UFC. And of course he's the toughest guy. So I'm more than happy to fight him because all the eyes are on this guy. So me fighting him, right now and stopping his how you say that in English? Stopping his winning streak.
Yeah.
Stopping his winning streak is gonna be the best thing that can happen to me for sure.
I remember a while back you were saying one of the things you were most looking forward to is testing out your wrestling. You had worked on it a lot since your one lone loss. He's a very strong grappler. How do you feel like your wrestling has evolved? Do you feel like you're ready to take on a grappler like that? Like, are your skills there?
Of course. Misha is a judo jiu-jitsu guy.
Yep.
He's been competing a lot in grappling and judo, of course, probably. So yeah, he's a high level ground guy. So this is even better. You know, it's some challenge like that I'm waiting, because I want to make myself grow as a fighter. You know.
Yeah.
I want my overall. I'm trying to improve my overall skills. So fighting a guy who is specifically strong in a department like that, like the ground,
Yeah.
forced me to put all my focus on that department and grow myself. And of course, I know he's not a pure grappler. I know he has a lot of strength also.
Yes.
He's a strong guy, and he has a decent striking. So yeah, I think overall he's a great fighter.
Definitely. Do you think your time at heavyweight, dealing with like the bigger men and taking bigger punches from big guys, do you think that's going to benefit you as you make your run at light heavyweight here, just having that experience with big men?
I mean, as you were able to see also, I can take a punch.
Definitely.
So yeah, I was used to fight bigger guy and strong guy, and in the gym I always sparring with those big heavyweights. You know, we have a bunch of them in ex-Black Zillion, and the new gym from Black Zillion, you know, the guy who departed.
Yeah.
So for sure, I was used to lift really tall guy and strong guy and to get punch them, you know. So I think that's definitely going to be one of my strengths.
How do you see this fight ending? And what are you going to have to do really well to walk away with a W?
What did you say?
I said, what are you going to have to do really well to walk away with the win? And how do you see the fight ending?
Oh, I'm going to knock him out. And I think it's just going to be about what's going to happen into the fight. I know he's a real smart guy. I know he's not going to take me lightly, so he's going to be aware. He said that I read online that he's going to try to strike with me, but I'm saying that he's gonna try to for sure, because I know I'm gonna outboxing him, and I'm gonna force him to take me down. That's for sure, because I know that's what he's gonna do. So, you know, I'm gonna play my game and knock him out.
Do you think his plan to strike with you will change abruptly as soon as you make contact with one clean shot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna turn the wrestler for sure.
And start shooting. I got you. What are you looking for after Misha? I mean, Misha right now, he's number 7. He's right behind you. Are you going to look to try to crack that top 3 or top 4 after a big win over Misha?
I think the top 4 is like, there are people that are going to stay there, I guess, because everybody on the top 4 has been fighting and trying to get that spot for a while now, and I'm here with only one fight. It's going to be 2 victories. So I guess it's going to be hard. I don't know. I'm not a professional matchmaker for sure, but I don't think I'm going to be more than a 5 after that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a number 4. I don't know. But I mean, we got Gustafsson and Glover fighting too, and we got who else is fighting? Shogun? No, Manua. Oh no, Manua is waiting for I guess Cormier and Jones, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna have to wait a little bit, see what's the outcome of those fights, to see what's gonna be next for me. But hopefully also maybe I can fight Shogun, you know, to get one more, you know, like to get his rank also.
Definitely, you know, I like that fight. I also like you to face the winner of Glover and Gustafsson if you're able to get a really devastating victory over Misha. I think either one of those fights would be a great fight. So I'd like to see you get maybe one of those guys too. I think that'd be awesome.
Yes, for sure.
Listen, I really want to thank you for taking some time to drop in and talk to us about the fight and about what's going on. I really appreciate it. I know you're a super busy guy and the fight's fast approaching. So thank you so much, Volkan, for dropping in and talking to us, man, and I wish you all the luck.
Yep, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, have a great night. Thank you so much, Volkan. Bye.
You too, bye.
Really great guy. I'm really looking forward to this fight with him and Misha. It's such a contrast of styles. It's going to be awesome.
People are going to know who these guys are after this fight for sure.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's hard to root against Misha because he's a hometown boy. You know, he's from Toronto, so it's. But I like Volkan, man. His experience at heavyweight. You can take the shot. He can land a shot. I tell you, this guy hits like a truck.
And that division's wide open. I mean, with Bader gone, I mean, Bader made it a little bit more deeper, but without him gone, it's completely open at this point.
They're in need of a breath of fresh air in that top 4. I mean, they really are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's been that way for so long.
Glover, Gus, Jones, and DC, right?
Even Manawa. People aren't big on Manawa right now. They're just like, you know.
Because I think people look at a guy like Manawa and think that he's just one-dimensional.
Exactly.
They're just like, you know, DC's going to take him down, or Jones is going to take him down, and it's going to be a wrap, or he won't be able to find Jones too long. You know, I don't think anyone's really giving him a shot. I don't think anyone's really giving him a shot.
That's true.
I think with Misha and Volkan, like their skills kind of, it makes it iffy. It's like, like Misha's a deadly ground game, you know what I mean? And Volkan, the guy, like I said, he hits like a truck. The guy's a big dude, you know what I mean? He's a heavyweight. Yeah. He's fought his whole career at heavyweight.
It's true.
And he made the drop, you know, for the opportunity. And it showed in the OSP fight. OSP hit him with hard shots, and he took them, no problem. And, like, that wasn't the best Volkan. You know what I mean? He was on, like he said, 2 weeks. Like, he was basically, from the time he knew he was getting the fight, it was all about the weight cut.
Yeah, man, it's a huge opportunity to come in and just steal some thunder and put the spotlight on you in a division that has really been not dead, but it's been hurting for a while.
It's probably the thinnest division in the UFC.
It's been that
one
way
of
for
them
a while.
Anyway. One of the thinnest.
Like you said, a breath of fresh air.
Definitely. You know what? I'm excited for either one of those guys, Misha or Volkan, to crack the top 4. And you know what? I would love to see Volkan if he's able to get past Misha. I really do think the winner of Glover and Teixeira would be an awesome fight. Or, I mean, the loser even.
Well, now that Jones is tied up, I mean, it makes it a little bit more clear probably what's going to go down.
And Manawa wants to sit around and wait, right? He's not trying to lose his shit. So, I mean, there's only going to be a...
Shogun's on a 3-fight win streak, too, so maybe that would be actually something that works. One of those stepping stone type
people
fights.
Smash.
I know, but that's the way the UFC works.
I know, but...
I hate it, but that's the way it is.
You know the thing about... Shogun's just another one of those guys I got a ton of respect for. He's one of my favorites to watch. But you just want to see some people retire, and I get why he fights. I mean, you love to fight. I understand it. I completely get it. But
it's not like he's in the wrong division by 20 pounds. Yeah. Now, so it's like when you're in these like long, term careers, and you see them in the heavier divisions, and they're taking more punishment because the guys are bigger and stronger. It's brutal to see.
Being proficient with the weight cut is crucial. Right now, think about this. BJ Penn cut to 145. Think of how much bigger Yair Rodriguez was than him.
It's true. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
He had never fought at 145. It was almost considered unheard of. Like, BJ didn't have that discipline to fight at 145.
It's true. Nutrition has become a part of the evolution of the sport.
Yeah, it's crucial. You cannot. I mean, look at a guy like Gunnar Nelson. Gunnar Nelson doesn't cut any weight, essentially. Like he said, he just doesn't believe in it. He won't do it. But he will never be a champion at 170. No disrespect to Gunnar Nelson. He's incredibly gifted. He'll be a gatekeeper in that division. He just, if he did what everyone else did and dropped down to 155, he could be a threat. He won't do it. He won't do it because he's just like, I'm not going to sacrifice my health for anything. Yep. Which I respect. I respect a ton. I think everyone should fight at their walk-around weight. I really love what ONE FC does, how you could fight anywhere in that range. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I like that. Like if you're a light heavyweight, you could be anywhere from 185 to 204 or 205, whatever. But you can't.
You can't, but you said, I don't know if he mentioned it, he didn't say the actual number there, but you said it was somewhere around 30 pounds he had to cut for that fight, Volkan.
Yeah, 25, I think. I remember him saying to me when he stepped on the scale, he was like 232.
Yeah, that's absurd. You can't be doing that. That's hurting your body.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But, another good conversation. I'm really looking forward to the fight. I don't know who's going to win. They're both extremely tough.
Is that our first UFC fighter, by the way?
That is our first UFC fighter, so it's groundbreaking. You know what I mean? We're establishing those relationships, man. It's nice to get those guys on here every once in a while.
It's exciting.
Yes, sir. Listen, we're gonna be back with an up and comer, Sean O'Malley. Man's got some stand up, boy.
Wheel kicks for days.
Can't wait to get him on the show. It's gonna be good. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a minute. We'll have Sean on the line. Talk to you guys in a bit.
There's that short left. Good power out of both hands from southpaw, and watch the spin. Boop. Accuracy. To have that accuracy on the spin technique last second. There's that rear leg kick to the neck. Shin bone to the neck. That'll get the job done, definitely.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Fight House. We're here with Sean O'Malley, the man with the spinning kick that sent the internet crazy. What's going on, Sean? Welcome to the Fight House. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me. How's it going?
Great, man. Big win Friday night for you. Good performance, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I said going into that fight I was going to get a knockout. I didn't expect anything else.
Yeah, but you also predicted that it would go viral, my man.
Yeah, that was sweet. I don't know, kind of
self-fulfilling prophecy, they call
that. I
that.
was going to get a sweet knockout, so I thought I might as well say it, and it worked out.
Fair enough, man. That's fair. Is it safe to say that was the biggest win of your career, man? That was a pretty big stage at LFA. The guy was 9-1.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The video got over 520,000 views on on a website that was posted on Facebook in Brazil. So for sure it was the biggest one.
Yeah, man. It was the knockout was it couldn't have gone better for you, man. If you wrote that script, it couldn't have gone better for you. It was just a flawless performance, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Was it important to you to make a statement going in there against a guy that's 9-1 on a stage like LFA? Was that the plan?
I just went in there. I knew what I was going to do. I mean, I just trained so hard, and my style, I was constantly trying to do something that I want to have fun in there. I literally think of it as a performance, going in there and performing and doing what I want to do and doing my style. And I love doing street shit, and that's just what happened. So I wasn't trying to build it up in my head like I had to do something. I was pumped to go in there and perform. I wasn't nervous at all.
And, you could tell, man, you were extremely relaxed in there. Even when you were throwing some stuff that wasn't exactly connecting, like you could just see that your body was incredibly relaxed. It seemed like you were at home, in the cage. It was
right.
It was nice to see, man.
I get more nervous on but I had zero nerves going into that fight. I get more nervous going in to the lab on a Saturday, knowing I have to spar 3 rounds in a row with a fresh guy every round, and I have to go 15 minutes. That's more nerve-wracking than going into a fight, in my mind, knowing I'm going to knock this dude out.
Fair enough. That sounds about right to me. How soon into the fight did you realize that you were on another level than Nuzo?
You could tell in the video. It's hard to see, but first I'd say 30 seconds he threw a right hand, and I blocked, it kind of landed, but I kind of blocked it, and you can see me look over at my corner. I was looking at my buddy Tim, who was in the corner, and I was like, this kid's so slow. You could see my body language. You could see me turn towards my corner.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, this kid is way too slow for me, and I'm gonna hurt this dude. That's what was going through my brain.
The reason I asked is because I didn't see necessarily the part where you looked over at your corner, but there was a definite change in your body language of absolute confidence. Like you said, like I was thinking like 45 seconds into the round. What was on my mind right now?
I'm like watching his videos. I knew he hit hard, and I knew he wasn't very fast.
Yeah. Like
compared to what I think's fast.
Okay.
Like I was like, I moved way too fast for this kid to hit me. Knowing anything could happen. Knowing he could have caught me with a left hook and dropped me. But in my mind, I was like, there's no way. Even going into the fight, I was looking at him across the cage. When he was standing there, I was yelling at him. I said, "You're too slow, David. You're too slow." Telling him that before you do that on the video too. Just tell me. I knew it. Just going into that fight, I was just super confident.
I know part of it is that you were saying that you have no fear of losing. Do you think that kind of makes you free in there, that you go in there with that mentality like, hey, I know it could happen and I accept that? Does that give you a freedom in the cage?
I think it does. I mean, I felt super, super free and relaxed in there, and just knowing anything could happen, but also knowing how hard I trained, that this guy's not out-training me. He's not training with better guys than me. He's not doing what I'm doing. So that also gives me that sense of freedom and just comfortability in there.
You know, you had predicted before the fight that you'd obviously KO him and that it would go viral. But were you at all surprised when that happened? And it's like, holy crap! Like this did go viral.
See, after I knocked him out, I do that stuff. I don't knock out my training partners, but I throw that stuff in training all the time.
Yeah.
And I can land that stuff all the time. I don't throw it and try to knock my partners out. So obviously it's a different, But I threw that kick. I actually watched the Conor McGregor video one night, and he was throwing that, but he's orthodox or southpaw. He was throwing a left head kick up against the cage to get him circled the other way, and then he'd spin and throw that, throw either a body kick or head kick.
Right.
And I had drilled that kick before, and I was drilling it that a couple days before the fight with my buddy when I was hitting mitts. We were doing that exact same thing, right head kick to a right spin, and that just the opportunity presented itself, and it just happened, and I wasn't even surprised at all. Like I said, I expected that.
Did you obviously, like, you landed a left, I think it was a left hook that dropped him before you landed the body kick that kind of turned into that kick.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you know how bad, like, did you sense like he's really badly hurt when you landed that left hook? Like, this is over?
Boom. I landed it, I seen him drop, and right then and there I was like, I'm going to try to finish this, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember too much. Usually I can remember, but I remember hitting him and thinking, I'm going to finish this, dude. That's all I was thinking. You take different angles than a lot of conventional fighters. You're very relaxed. You flow in there. You're throwing spinning techniques, and they seem to freeze him. Like you were throwing them, and it seemed that he was just frozen there. Did you feel that way in the cage? That like just the way you were moving just had him frozen? Yeah, I know I can freeze up some people when I faint. I've trained with super high level guys, and they tell me that same thing. They're like, dude, you freeze me up, and I know what I can do, and I knew I was going to be able to do it to him, and I think that's a huge advantage.
It just seemed to me like he was, after you threw a couple techniques at him, it seemed that he almost turned into like a deer in headlights kind of. Like he just didn't kind of know what to do. He wasn't ready for that sort of movement, and just the different angles that you took caught him by surprise, I think, and you really were able to just kind of have your way with him after that.
Yeah, I feel like after he seen my speed, I think he realized I wasn't making this stuff. I wasn't trying to be cocky. I wasn't trying to do nothing. I was being serious. I was telling him I am too fast for you. You're too slow for me. And I think he realized that after the first couple shots.
Yeah. You went viral. Everybody knows who you are now. Your work was definitely seen by some of the biggest names in the sport, as far as promotions are concerned. Do you feel like a call to the main stage is coming soon after performances like this?
I think it could, but I'm not in a hurry to get in the UFC. I'm 22. I feel like I could 100% if I had a UFC fight, if I got called UFC and I was fighting, I'd be confident going into the fight. But I want to keep building my skills. I want to get in the UFC when I'm 100% ready, and I want to take over whatever division I'm in. But like I said, if I got a call and I was fighting in the UFC in 6 weeks, I'd be pumped, I'd be jacked, and I'd be confident. But I'm not in a hurry, so whatever happens, happens.
Well, and saying that, when you look around the regional scene, do you feel like you're well beyond your competition? Like when you see the guys are putting you in there, and this guy was like 9-1, and you rinsed through him in under a round. Like, do you feel like you're well above these guys?
Not necessarily. I feel like there's some good guys out there that definitely give me trouble. And that's just part of knowing my style. Guys are going to try to take me down, and they're going to try to take me down and grind out a win. But if someone takes me down and lays on me the whole fight, to them, if that's a win, it's a win. But that's just gay. I don't know. I don't want. That's the people that are going to beat me is the guys that are going to try to lay on me. But I'm super active off my back. I love jiu-jitsu. I train jiu-jitsu a lot. I train in the gi. I train with Quintinho Augusto Mendez. He's one of the baddest dudes in a gi in the world. Like, I train with bad motherfuckers. I'm not going to be afraid to hit the mat. So, I don't know. I'm ready for whatever.
How much of your abilities have we seen? How close are you to your peak? Like, what do you think percentage-wise we've been able to see so far? Where are you at?
Could you say that again?
Sorry?
Could you say that again?
Oh, what I'm saying, I was saying, how much of your peak have you reached percentage-wise? Like, what do you think you're at right now?
Oh, okay. I'm not even. There's just so. I was watching my last fight, not the one I just had, but the one 6 weeks before that.
Yeah.
And I was watching that fight, and I'm like, I'm already better. Like, I'm getting better. Every camp, I'm getting better. And then when I'm not in camp, I'm even getting more better because I'm working on skills, not cardio.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. It's just hard to say. 22, I feel like I could fight till I'm 35 years old. And my prime could be when I'm 30. So, I don't know. I'm not even close to where how good I'm going to be.
That's scary to think, man. You're at the lab. How beneficial is it for you when you got guys like Benson Henderson around you as you grow into this sport?
Oh, super. Benson's one of the trains harder than anybody I've ever. He's a freak. He's like, I don't know, he's crazy. But there's like probably 10 guys in UFC that train at the lab.
Yeah.
And they're all killers. It's awesome. And everyone comes to practice. There's not, if you were showing up today, everyone comes to practice. We have scheduled practices, and we're all there for each other, and we all help each other. We're all good in different areas, and we all just build each other.
Yeah. You know,
and I think that's a huge benefit, training in the lab.
That's what they say, iron sharpens iron, right?
What's that?
I said that's what they say, right? Iron sharpens iron.
Oh, yep, exactly. That's exactly how it is at the lab.
You know, away from fighting for a minute, man, I was going through your social media. I was preparing for the interview, and I was like, you know, what's been going on? And I was on your Instagram, man. And there was a picture of you and your buddy in a parking lot.
Oh, God.
And you had like
that was wild. I never drink. I've drank like 5 times in my life, and that was all this year. My first time drinking was on New Year's, and I never drink. And my buddy, he had lost that night, so
okay,
kind of. And he's Mike, my buddy who lost. He's so tough, and he didn't even get to show his skill at heart and stuff. But he came over Saturday night, and we just got a little wild, and yeah, that picture got taken and sent to me. So I was like, well, I might as well post it. But that was fun. But as far as drinking, I don't like drinking. That's like a couple times a year thing for sure.
Yeah, because I was looking, I'm like, man, what is going on? This guy's got something giving him a wedgie. His pants are around his ankles. He's wrestling. I'm not sure what's happening here.
That was a fun night.
Oh, it sounds like a fun night, man.
It was fun, but it was wild. I was hurt. My body. I'm still recovering from the alcohol in my body.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, I'm not going to get into what you wrote, but you know, you're on the right track, man. You're on the right track.
Thank you.
But listen, I really want to thank you for taking some time, man, to come and visit with us. I enjoyed the conversation. I really enjoyed your fight, and you're good to talk to, bro. So I want to thanks for coming in.
Thanks a lot, man.
Absolutely. You have yourself a great night, okay? And stay away from that booze, man.
Awesome.
All right,
you
take
too,
care.
I appreciate it. Have a good night.
You're there. Sean O'Malley, good kid. Good kid. Crazy skills.
Yeah. It's funny. I feel vindicated because before we got in here, I was mentioning, I was like, he looks like he moves like Connor, and the first thing he says is he's looking up the Connor highlights, and that's what you got to do. I mean,
those guys are at the top.
You got to dissect what they're doing and figure it out and add it to your repertoire.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
He's I don't know. He's a good kid. Yeah, I don't know, man. He's where that kid could go in the sport is crazy.
It was the first time I saw him. I had seen him fight, and it was
22 years old, man.
That wheel kick, it was executed perfectly, especially after rocking him, and you realize, okay, listen, he's rocked. Maybe he might be able to catch this normally, but right now he's going to eat it, you know, because he doesn't know where he is. I love that. That's the killer instinct that you were saying earlier that the UFC is looking for. So I have no doubt that he's going to have a bright future.
Yeah, and you know what? I really hope that they don't come and get him right away.
No.
I really hope that he does have that time to really hone in and season his skills. You know what I mean? Like maybe another couple years.
Yep.
And then when you talk about guys like Connor and stuff, like Connor was like 27, 26 or something when he entered the UFC. Like it's better, you know, take your time. Don't rush it, you know. Like think of like, would Max Holloway even have a loss on his record if he wasn't fighting in the UFC at like 19 years old?
Nope.
Probably not. You know what I mean? Guy's unbelievable, but he was fighting killers.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So, you know, it is what it is. That kid's got a bright future. Definitely the kid's going to be in the UFC or somewhere high level in the not so distant future. I look forward to it. He's got a lot of good and entertaining fights to give us before his career is done.
I'm excited to see his next fight.
Me too. Everyone, next up, we got Casey Kenney. We're going to get talking to him about some horrid judging that affected his fight on Friday night. Look forward to the conversation. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back. Talk to you soon.
Scores the bout 29-28 Silva. Judge Chris Flores scores the bout 29-28 Kenny. And Judge Dennis O'Connell scores the bout 28-28 a split draw.
Well, Judge Frank and Judge O'Connell should be ashamed of themselves. What absolute muppets. How do you call Silva one guy and the other guy gives it a draw?
Welcome back to the Fight House, everybody. We're here with Casey Kenney, who was on the wrong end of some crappy judging last Friday. What's going on, Casey? Welcome to the Fight House.
Hey, man. How's it going? Thanks for having me back. Yeah, it was a crappy judging, but, ultimately I think I'm the most upset about that I didn't finish him there in the third round when I had him hurt.
Hey, have you had a chance to watch the fight?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
I watched it a few times.
What it's just driving you nuts, eh?
Yeah, man, it's eating at me, man. I had him hurt bad. I think one time I hit him and he went from one side of the cage to the other side.
Oh,
of the
yeah, late in the third round. There's about a minute and a half left, too, in the third round. That's he was definitely on the tilting point, man. A couple real hard shots could have ended that for sure. Not to, rub it in. I don't need to throw, salt in your wound, but you definitely...
Yeah, and, how the third round went is kind of how I expected the whole fight to go. I just came out a little flat, and I guess if you could, a fighter had a perfect fight every time, it'd be great. But kind of had to weather the storm, and then I finally, in the third round, I'm like, damn, this is what I've been trying to do the whole time.
Right. Yeah, no, that's the one thing I noticed was it did take you a little bit to get going in the first round. You seemed to have a little bit of trouble, with your timing, maybe, or your range, or I'm not sure, but you. Yeah,
that was it. I call it touch butt kickboxing, but it's where the guys just you flinch, you feint at them, you flinch at them, and they jump halfway across the cage, back out, and he kind of has I didn't do as good of a job of standing my ground as I would have wanted to as well, but I felt like when I was moving backwards, I was trying to throw or counter, a lot of especially there at the beginning, not the dogged style or anything, but I felt like he was jumping back a little bit more than I expected, and then I was kind of way out of range there. So I was kind of almost half expecting him to either block or counter my shots instead of just getting completely out of range.
Was that one of the reasons you kind of went to you're using a lot of kicks? You weren't even really throwing so many punches into the kicks. You were kind of just. It was a one-shot kick. Was that kind of the reason? Because he was slipping out of range, so you're trying to hit him with the kicks?
Yeah. I throw those out there from time to time. I feel like I kick hard and I kick fast, and doesn't matter. Obviously they do better with setups, which I come out, blast a couple, and then I try to let my hands and my feet work together. And that's one thing I didn't do. Most of the fight I wasn't throwing any combos. I felt like I was just out of range, and I also felt for some reason my footing wasn't there, man. Into the first round, he hit me with a good shot, but I lost my footing too. It didn't really rock me too much, just kind of tripped there. And then I know in the second round I threw a kick and I kind of fell down. May have hurt me on the judges' scorecards, but some reason my footing wasn't quite there until later on, and I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but like I said, it was a weird fight for me. It felt like a while to kind of find my rhythm, get into place. I wanted to throw more combos, put my hands and my feet together, which I think would have been a bad night for him early on.
What did you think when the fight ended? Did you feel like you had the fight in the bag?
I did. Even when, because I remember thinking when he tied me up there, at the very, very end, I thought there may have been a couple minutes left in the fight, and that was when the 10-second bell rang.
Yeah.
I was like, crap, man, I'm not going to be able to finish him, but I was like, fuck, I won the fight anyways, Not that that's how I want to win a fight, but, I for some reason I felt like there was another minute or so left in the fight when that last 10-second clicker, went down.
So, when you're standing there with the ref and the fight's done and you feel like you got the fight in the bag, then what were you thinking when the first judge read the score for him?
I was like, oh, man, I should have finished him. That's all I was thinking. I was like, man, because my dad's been telling me that for a long time, because, growing up, you have some bad referee calls and judo wrestling, like, don't leave it to the judges ever. That's, like I said, that was my golden rule, and, I broke it. I broke my golden rule, and I paid for it this time, but at a high level, you're probably going to have that from time to time. So I'm just going to try to minimize those, and from here on out, just put people away.
True story, man. You were visibly pissed off at the end of the fight. You got out of the cage as quick as possible. You didn't have a lot to say in your post-fight interview. What were you thinking after everything was said and done and it was a draw? Like, where was your headspace at?
Man, honestly, I just wanted to go another round. Take this gear off and let's go.
Yeah.
Let's finish this fight. Obviously, I was pretty upset. I was trying to remain calm, as calm as possible. I also just wanted to thank Bruno, because, like you said, I was pretty pissed off. Everybody was pissed off. I thought there was going to be a riot at Comerica.
Oh my God.
I had quite a few fans and friends there. But it is what it is. Bruno came to fight. He wasn't judging anything. So, once I got to talk to him, and it's like, hey, good fight, man. A little bit of talking that we did, not too fluent in English, but
I'm sure it did.
We made our peace, and no matter what the hell the judges said, we both came to fight that night.
I'm sure it didn't help your friends in the audience when he said that he felt like he did more damage than you. I'm sure that didn't help his cause at all.
That didn't help. I talked to. Actually, I said something while I was in the cage when he responded to that. I go, "Look at your face, dude." And his coaches were like, "Hey, he doesn't understand the question."
Yeah.
They got real defensive real quick. So I was like, I knew it wasn't his fault. Hell, I know how hard it is to talk on the mic after a fight, let alone when you're trying to translate stuff in your head, a language that you're probably pretty new to. I get it. You know what I mean? No hard feelings there. When what's he going to say? Yeah, I got my ass kicked.
Fair enough. Do you feel like you missed a big opportunity to shine on a stage like LFA? Like, do you have that feeling as you sit after the fight's done now?
Man, I think I still put on, we put on a fight of a night performance at one of the top shows, outside of UFC and Bellator. So I don't think that's ever bad. But, that flying knee was probably about a half inch away from, ending up on the highlight reel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was definitely, you were definitely looking for the kill shot.
In that fight,
Yeah,
I went for the kill shot. I think my knee even clipped his chin, but, he didn't really even brace for that impact. And I think if he would have even braced a little bit, that knee would have, landed right on the money. It was close, though. That's what I got to say, man. But, I don't feel like I missed an opportunity, but, I was an inch, half inch away, one shot away from, that being a totally different situation. I guess that you are at any point in the fight, but I was extra close in this one.
Do you feel like, when we talk about the judging here, and I guess this is no better time to talk about it, do you feel like there's too much room for interpretation when it comes to scoring rounds? Like when judges sit there, do you feel like there's just too much room for their personal opinion on the round?
I think so, man. I thought that they had just, made a couple changes to the scoring. I don't know if that was in effect in Arizona or how, with like the 10-8 rounds. And I know a couple other changes that they've made. I even thought that last round would have been a 10-8 round, which would have had me winning on my scorecard 29-27. Which doesn't even put it close. So obviously there is a little bit of a discrepancy. Like I said, on my scorecard, I gave him the first round, and even though he landed one good shot, I feel like I landed even more shots in the first round. He may have pushed the pressure a little bit, but in the second and obviously the third round, I thought I was the clear victor. And that puts me at 29-28, maybe 29-27 on the scorecards.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I don't know what criteria these judges were scoring by. I would like to know. That would be nice. I honestly would like to see the scorecard.
You know,
because they may have read it wrong.
Oh, wouldn't that be something? I'll be honest with you. I had it 29-28. I thought it was pretty clear. I didn't think it was a very tough fight to judge, to be completely honest with you. I gave him the first round, like you said, and I thought the second 2 and 3 were you, clearly. That's why it was just hard to believe.
I know, Pat Miletich had that same score on his cards too.
Yeah, but you know what kills me about
that matters, but that
yeah, that doesn't really have
much.
Good
opinion to have.
Yeah, well, Pat Miletich is a commentator, and I'm a podcast guy, so it doesn't really help you too much.
I'll take as many 29-28 as I can get.
Fair enough, man.
Didn't come across those judges' scorecards at all, except for one.
The part
guy was paying attention.
The one part that irritates me though, man, when I look at these judging, and not just your fight, but a lot of fights, is that there's 3 judges sitting around the cage, and not one of them saw the same fight. Like, no 2 of them, I should say, saw the same fight, and it always drives me nuts. I'm like, how did one guy see it for him, one guy saw it for you, and then another guy saw it a draw, and you're all watching the same fight? Like, how does that even happen?
Right. That's what I'm not sure of, man. Yeah, I think there needs to be maybe a clear ruling on what they're looking at, or maybe even some type of judging certification. What kind have these judges even fought before? Like, what do you even have to do to become a judge? I mean, I don't know the exact criteria, but maybe they should be a little more selective on who they're picking as judges. Are these judges former boxers? Well, even if they were, I think I won the boxing match too. But what is exactly? Where do they get these judges? I know the state commission, picks the judges. It has nothing to do with the promotion most of the time. But what exactly do they have to do to become a judge? What is it?
And the thing is, we all say, like, don't leave it to the judges. Everyone says this. But at the end of the day, like, you can't go out and finish every fight. That's just, it's not a realistic expectation. I mean, you want to do it, but it's just not the way it goes.
Right.
But it must be frustrating as a fighter and a little disconcerting when you don't know what they're looking for. Like, you don't know what they want. You're out there. You think you're doing everything in your power, and you think you've done everything right. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, like that. Everyone sees the fight differently, and you're like, huh? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be.
I totally agree, man. That, or you just put some type of overtime or something, extra round. Let me go another round. That's what I really wanted.
Sudden.
Let's fight. Let's finish this.
I don't think we should call it sudden death round just because of the sport and stuff like that. We have to come up with like some other.
Right. Sudden death round.
Yeah, we don't want to call it sudden death. It's bad for the sport. We'll call it like overtime. I think overtime works. I like overtime.
Yeah. Maybe an overtime round, or I don't know, man. I guess then it's always going to be that one more round. You got hour-long fights, whatever it may be. But
true.
Maybe just getting a little bit clear judging. Maybe having a meeting, figure out what they're supposed to be looking for. Maybe seeing what sport they're even watching. The next time.
Yeah, fair enough.
before they actually go judge that.
True. We're gonna need a resume from each one of you. We need to know what your qualifications are.
Right. Let me take a look at the judges' qualifications. But,
hey man, there's been horror stories, man. There's been like I read this thing one time where Uriah Faber had said like he was sitting behind the judges and I forget who was fighting, but he said someone was was trying to wrap up a Kimura. And the judge was like, "What's that? Like, what's he doing to his arm there?" And he was just like, "What? Like, are you kidding me?" So there's been some horror stories, man. But do you feel like this whole situation? And do you feel like it's been a setback for you at all? Because I remember. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't think so. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Obviously it wasn't as big of a step forward as going out, finishing the dude, getting a win.
Sure.
But I feel like a draw, I put on a fight of the night performance, controversial draw. I don't think it's going to set me back a whole lot. I'm ready to fight. I'm healthy. Ready to step back in there and put this next guy away and not have a chance for the judges to do anything. So I'm already moving forward. I don't look at it as a setback at all. I'm still undefeated in my books, but technically I haven't lost. So
true.
Still undefeated, and ready to take someone's head off again. And maybe I definitely learned from this. And coming from a grappling background, that was a step up in my book. Is banging it out for 15 minutes on the feet. So I'm looking at some of the positive sides of this. That's a big check mark in my book. And not only banging it out for 15 minutes on our feet, but getting the better of the standing situation too. And then kind of combining some stuff between my striking and my grappling, which I feel like I should have maybe mixed up a little bit in that fight. I felt like I was a superior grappler, but something in my head just said punch his face.
There you go. You're a fan favorite, that's for sure. What's next, man? What's on the agenda?
I know that I talked to Ed Soros and some of those guys at LFA. They wanted to get me back in there. They said that with a fight like that, as long as I'm healthy, they'll have no problem getting me back in there as soon as possible. I know also sometime in August, Tachi Palace had talked about me defending my belt. And then, whatever else wants to come my way. I'm already back to training, completely healthy, and I'm just ready for whatever's next, man. Hopefully something pops up here soon. I'm already itching to get back in there.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. You must be. I can only imagine. Listen, I want to thank you for taking some time to come talk with us here at the Fight House, man. I really, really appreciate it. I know you guys are busy guys and you just finished fighting. You want some downtime, so I really appreciate you taking that time.
Oh yeah, not a problem, man. I'm actually back at the gym right now. I just got done teaching a kids jiu-jitsu class, so hopped out of there and when you guys started calling. But of course, man, thanks for having me back. And like I said, anytime you guys want me to come on the show, I'll be more than happy to come on.
Sweet, man. We look forward to it, buddy, and hope to see you back in the cage sooner than later, man.
All right, sounds good. Take care, guys.
You too. Take care, bro. Cool guy, eh?
Yeah.
It's good that he could just laugh. He's a place where he could laugh about it.
Luckily, it was a draw, not a loss.
Yeah, definitely.
When you have the judges are that far off, I mean, it could easily have been a loss.
Yeah, he's undefeated too. You know
also noticed he's got a lot of canceled bouts and people pulling out, missing weight. He's got bad luck, this kid.
Yeah, but he pulls through it, man.
Yeah.
He pulls through it. He's undefeated, and he's still undefeated. He's dead on, right? He got a draw, which kind of sucks, but
people know. Well, when they,
when people watch the fight, and they're like, "Oh man, that must have been a crazy fight." They're gonna understand. When they watch it, and I'm sure, like you said, it's not going to affect his career. I'm sure when guys like Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard and these guys are looking,
it's not boxing.
They're not looking at him like, oh, you lost. Like it's like, no, you got screwed, man.
Yeah, it's not boxing. People don't hold up that zero as heavily. As long as you put a string of good performances together, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and he's and that's true too. Like when he says he's got a grappling background. The kid's like a black belt in judo and I've been wrestling since he was like 7. The kid's got like his grappling chops are extensive. He's a very, very, very gifted grappler. So it was good to he banged it out. There's a lot of positives to take from that performance.
For sure.
Well, it's another one down. Good interview, good conversation. We're gonna be back with Bellator's Adam Piccolotti. Really looking forward to this conversation, see what he's up to after recovering from his injury. We'll be back. Stay tuned. Hey, guys. Welcome back to the Fight House. We're going to have to reschedule with Adam Piccolotti. We weren't able to get with him today, but he is going to be back next week for sure, 100%. So tune in next week, and we'll have a lot of good conversation with Adam. On top of that, it was a good show this week. We had 3 great guests. Volkan Oezdemir. Got a big fight coming up with Misha Fight Night. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Sean O'Malley came on the show. the kid that went viral with a nasty spinning head kick.
Lit the world up.
Lit the world up. And Casey Kenney, kid's got a promising future. You know, he's moving past the shitty judging that fucked him over on Friday. It happens. That's the sport, you know. Don't leave it to the judges as much as I think that's a ridiculous statement. I guess there is some truth to it. So it is what it is. And I'm sure we'll see.
A lot of potential, though, in all these fighters.
Hey, and you know what, man? I might have lit a fire. Might see him back in the cage, and I have a feeling he's not going to want to ever see a judge again in his life. So we'll see what happens. But, you know, so I want to thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a great week. You know, we're going to be back next week. It's me, Jason Sutcliffe.
Tristan Keddy.
And we will definitely be back with you guys with 3 great guests. Talk to you soon.